Hey everyone, you're listening to Goddamn Gamecube, a podcast where we discuss video game franchises and video game industry topics that we're passionate about. This is episode 2 of the Fire Emblem Retrospective.
All right, so I'm pretty excited for this episode.
Yeah, I feel like with this one, Nick is going to be gushing the whole time, and I'm going to try to rein it in.
Yeah, please use hand signals. It's going to be helpful.
This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Path of Radiance first being one of my favorite games, if not favorite game in this franchise.
Yeah, I like this game a lot as well. I remember going into GameStop and buying this game as a kid. I believe I bought the only copy they had because this is the time where you guys might not think of this now, but at the time, Fire Emblem was in the pits. Like, nobody played this. And it's so funny. I actually have the copy of the game with the sticker on it that was a shelf unit. I still have it.
Yeah.
This game was, for at least America, this is the first console entry, and it was a big deal. It's still grid-based, it's still the same game, but it really brought maybe like the graphic fidelity and the cutscene fidelity to be like much higher than previous entries.
Yeah, so Path of Radiance, like I said about Sacred Stones, this game grew on me over time, and it grew on me exponentially. When I first played it, I'm like, oh, it's a good game. But I think the first one, the Game Boy Advance, is better.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think about this game, and I replay this game, I'm like, holy shit. This game is fantastic.
Yeah.
One of the only video games to actually bring me on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
That's how incredible
happens.
The storytelling is in this game.
Yeah. I remember when this game came out, what I was really, amazed by was sort of not only what it looked like, but sort of it's fully acted too as well, at least in the cutscenes, which is really impressive because, when you sort of go from, you started to sort of see the evolution of the sprites into it being quote unquote, maybe a more real game.
Yeah.
It's sort of anime-y now, but I mean, Nick, if you want to keep rolling and continue, feel free.
Yeah, so I'll jump in on that point where they kind of updated the graphics. This game is not sprite-based.
Yeah.
This game is more of like a cell-shaded graphic kind of thing. By the way, that's one of the knocks in this game. The cell-shaded graphics, they looked okay back then, and they look terrible now.
It's probably the whole Wind Waker trend.
Yeah, the game just looks very dated, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
The cutscenes look pretty good still, but the actual game, when you're in the fighting and you're in the scenes, the cell-shaded don't look that great.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So let's talk about some of the things about this game not story-related that they brought back.
Sure.
This game is back to the chapter-by-chapter format.
Yes.
No world map, like Sacred Stones. And it brings one of my favorite features in the franchise, which is the base.
Yes.
Where you get into the base before every chapter, and you can view info, view some base conversations, you view your supports there, you can do some shopping once it's unlocked, stuff like that. I really love the base.
Is this the game that I think they did bonus EXP for the first time?
I was going to mention that too. I'll jump into it right now. I think this is the first game in the franchise to really reward you in a gameplay sense for playing well.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you do some chapters have hidden requirements, and some chapters they just give you more bonus experience depending on how quickly you do it.
Yeah.
So you get bonus experience for completing a chapter, and you can use that inside the base to level up your characters.
Yeah.
That I kind of wish that feature came back. It's in Radiant Dawn, but I really like that.
Yeah.
Because you can use it to level up some characters maybe that are kind of underpowered.
Or didn't take part in that battle that much. Strategically, it wasn't a good map for them.
Right. So you can just kind of pump them up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of miss bonus
I agree.
experience.
Where that just kind of, I hadn't thought about that until you talked about the base.
Yeah.
I really like that because what it does is it eliminates the grinding and the video gaminess of the previous entry.
Yeah.
But it does give you an incentive to not only do things well, but okay, maybe I didn't maximize my experience in the previous chapter, but now I have something to play with.
Yeah, now you have some bonus experience, level up your dudes, stuff like that. Basing off that, I think the base really serves a great role with the story to gameplay integration here.
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, Ike, the main character of this game, we'll get to him later because he is fantastic.
Yeah.
When he becomes the leader of the mercenaries, you actually feel like you're the leader of the mercenaries.
Yeah.
After every battle, your little sidekick Soren gives you that recap of the battle. Like, here's what we did. Here's the money we made. Here's who fell. Here's who we recruited. Here's the MVP.
Right.
Stuff like that. And then using Ike, you go into the base, get the info, fill out some conversations with characters, stuff like that. You really feel like a commander.
Right. You actually feel like you're commanding a small army.
Yeah, exactly.
Before, not really. You were just kind of a bunch of dudes.
You're just kind of a bunch of dudes. You're kind of a leader, I guess.
And dudettes.
Yeah, right, exactly. So before we get into more of the features of this game, I want to talk about something that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Where one, I'm not even sure if you can fail the prologue in other games. You can fail the prologue in this game.
Yes.
Where you have to use a vulnerary at a certain point. If you don't, will be defeated.
Yeah.
And it's actually very funny. The prologue of this game is you're training with your dad, Grill, and he's training you to become a mercenary. If you lose, you get a game over screen and Grill says, "Sorry, Ike, you're not ready yet."
That's
and
really
you have to
funny.
do it again.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's super funny.
That's part of my point where the story to gameplay integration is so good.
Yeah.
Where you start with Ike, wimpy little guy trying to be a mercenary, and Grill, big tough guy father,
Big
trying to
big boy.
Yeah, big boy Grill. Yeah, but this game did change a lot of features, and I'll get into those a little bit. The weapon triangle remains the same, except they changed the magic.
Yes.
You remember that? It's
Yes.
now fire, wind, and lightning instead.
That's right. So anima or whatever it was called.
They got split up into three different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And light and dark are just different now.
Yeah, they're just different.
Sorry, dark does not exist. Light is in this game, but it's just separate of the weapon triangle, kind of like bows.
Oh, that's right.
is
I
very
forgot
interesting.
bows. Yeah.
Yeah, which is very interesting. We didn't mention it in the Sacred Stones one, but skills made a comeback in that game. But they
Oh, I
were
forgot about that.
But they were so minuscule, they might as well not exist. Skills made a comeback in Path of Radiance.
Yeah.
I say comeback because they were in the older games.
Yeah. It's good to reiterate where 7 was the first game for us.
Yeah.
But there was a whole slew of these games before that. And
Right.
why don't you talk a little bit about what skills do? I have a very mixed opinion on their integration in these games.
I do too. I think Path of Radiance did a decent job with them where you have a little meter. It's kind of strange that you have a meter. I don't know. And certain skills take up a certain amount of points on your meter.
Yeah.
Not the only. One of the interesting parts is if you remove a skill, it's gone forever.
Really?
You don't keep it.
You
yeah.
don't have a skill bank?
No, it's gone.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you remove a skill, it's just gone.
Wow. Okay.
So this game is very limited.
Yeah.
There's some skills like Vantage.
And Astra's in this game
Astra
too?
is in this game.
Yep.
Adept. For anyone listening who's not aware, some of these skills they change combat a little bit. Like instead of me attack, you attack, me attack again, it'll be me attack, you attack, me attack, ooh, me attack again.
Yeah,
something like
that. It gives you these small advantages, which I think later on in the franchise unbalance the fuck
Get a
out of
little
this
ridiculous.
game, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
This game it was okay. Where there are isn't there a certain ability like you can move through enemies, like that sort of
that sort of
typically
stuff.
if there's an enemy you can't walk through him,
Right.
and this you can if you have the skill.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I don't dislike skills, but it almost makes Ike not only a really big and powerful character, a really big and powerful character compared to everyone else.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But it's you know what I don't dislike that I almost wish skills were more subtle.
Yeah.
Where remember how in a lot of games in the franchise assassins have a secret skill.
They do, that's
you
right.
have one hit KO.
Didn't even
It's
mention that, yes.
assassinate.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you have that.
Right.
It's an inherent weird thing assassins can do. And also thieves can open stuff.
Right.
That would be cool if knights could do something or paladins could do something.
They have Kanto in this game.
That's
which
true.
is interesting.
That you know what I mean, where it's limited, but okay, so this class beyond just on a stat for stat level,
Right.
they do something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the classes now that we're on that.
Yeah, sure.
Thank God they changed the promotion system.
Yes.
And I kind of like it. It's okay.
And Nick's very emphatic, and I kind of like it.
It's all right. So
Yeah.
if you don't remember in this game, you there are master seals, but they're few and far between. To promote, you get to level air quotes 21.
Yes.
You get to level 20, and then the next level you promote.
They just do it.
They just do it. It's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
So I both like and dislike it. I like it because you don't need those stupid items from the
Yeah.
other games, but I dislike it because, well, what if I'm plowing through the game and want to promote someone early? I really can't because Master Seals are very limited.
But you know what it is, though?
Yeah.
Why would you? You make them worse.
You make them worse, but like I said before, do you really need stats?
Jesus Christ. So, yeah, if you're really good at this game, you
Well,
really don't.
There's actually an interesting part to that. Like, let's say I want Soren to promote because I want an actual healer who can do combat very early in the game.
you can't.
Because Soren, when he promotes, he gets a staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to bring that up too. This game with promotions, different classes, some of them are very different.
Yeah.
Like, let's say let's go with Oscar. Remember Oscar?
Yeah.
Lance Cavalier.
Yes.
Cavaliers in this game have lance, sword, or axe. They don't have multiple.
That's right. Yeah, they're all separated out.
Separated
yeah.
out. So when Oscar promotes, he becomes a paladin. You get to choose which weapon he
That was
he gets.
super cool.
Very
I remember
interesting.
that. Like you got to pick the additional weapon
Yeah.
that you could specialize in.
Right. And some of them had secret outcomes.
Yes, I really like that.
Yeah. Like, for example, I'll keep using Oscar as an example here because Oscar has brother Boyd, and
Yep.
brother, Rolf, who
Yep.
can both use bows upon promotion.
Yeah.
If Oscar takes bows on promotion, they can do a triangle attack.
That's cool.
Yeah. But if you didn't, you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
So it's just it's an interesting tidbit for when you're picking weapons.
Yeah, that's super. I forgot about that, where you
Yeah.
could specialize in a weapon.
Yeah, some are kind of stupid.
Yeah, aren't there like certain situations where a mage can get a melee weapon? And
Yeah,
there's
mages
no
can
reason
get
to
knives.
do it? Why?
Why would you make Soren use a knife? He has like 3 strength.
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, I did it once because it was funny.
Yeah.
But you
Stupid.
really
Just
it's
make him a
really-
healer.
Yeah, it's
You're
really stupid.
stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really liked the way they did the classes in this game because
Yeah.
of that reason. Gave you a lot of class variety. There are a lot of different units to use, a lot of different weapons. I really enjoyed that aspect of the game.
yeah, I did too.
Yeah. So, and also with classes, this is the first game to give us different races.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
You had like the animal people,
Yeah,
right?
the
Who could change in?
humans or Bjork, as they're known in Path of Radiance, or the animal, also known as Laguz.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so you had those, which were super interesting, kind of worthless, but they were interesting.
Yeah.
They were treated as promoted units in the
Yeah.
way they gain experience, and when you get them, like when you first get Mordecai and Leith, holy shit, they
Yeah.
are super strong.
Whoa.
Yeah, like holy
I
shit.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
But where they really dropped the ball and they never really got this right in
Yeah.
any of the games is how they transform.
Yeah.
Because how they go is, all right, Laguz are pretty powerful when they're transformed. And they're saying, the Intelligent Systems is like, we can't just give you these super strong characters without a drawback.
Yeah.
They have a meter that fills up. And when it depletes, they transform into their quote unquote human form
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they can't
yeah.
attack. But it doesn't really work because they take 3 or 4 attacks and boom, they're back to human form and they're a sitting duck.
Right.
So it's just like
It's almost like you'd rather have a usable item or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
it's
just let them be who they are.
Yeah.
And just give them huge weaknesses.
right. It just makes you not use any of them.
Yeah,
which is kind of
I remember
unfortunate.
that where like they're super cool and then you just stop using them.
Right, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So another aspect they brought in this game is weapon forging.
Yes.
Weapon forging, I believe, did not exist even in the older games, only
I don't-
released in Japan.
I don't think it did either.
Yeah, so they brought in weapon forging in this game, which I think it stayed throughout the entire franchise as a system you can use. And in Path of Radiance is probably at its simplest. Literally pay some money, you can make a weapon.
Yeah.
Funny part is you can actually make weapons worse.
Yes.
Which is really stupid, but
Yeah.
it's kind of funny.
can
I
make
know
them
I've done
worse.
that before, but like, can I give Boyd the shittiest hand axe ever made? And can he beat the map?
Yeah.
Can he do
Yeah,
this?
you can. Which is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
was the first game to do that
Yeah.
too, which is cool.
Yeah, so, all right, now I want to get into the real meat of this game, which is the story and how that integrates with the gameplay and just what makes this game so good
Yeah.
compared to all the other games in the franchise, really.
Yeah.
So,
You mean it's not anime bullshit?
that too, yeah. So, all right, close your ears, if you will. I'm going to get into a pretty major spoiler.
Yeah.
It's fairly early into the game, so come back in 2 minutes if you don't want to get spoiled. But,
Yeah, right.
So, throughout the beginning of the game, you're with Ike, and your dad, Greel, is the leader of the mercenary troop. And Greel is shown as this big, powerful dude. Everybody respects him. The entire mercenary troop loves him. And then he dies.
Yep.
He's killed by his rival, known as the Black Knight.
Yep.
In the woods.
I remember this cutscene very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a GameCube game with no blood or really not the greatest graphics, they did a pretty good job.
E-rated
with it.
game, pretty good.
Yeah,
Is it teen?
It is teen.
It's teen.
It is
Yeah.
teen. Yeah. Yeah. That whole Ike, stay back thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he dies.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if this is a hot take, but I think this is the most well done death scene in this entire franchise.
Yeah.
Just because of what happens after.
Yeah.
So obviously, Ike and Mist, his little sister, are pretty downtrodden about the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it also has an effect on all the other characters in the mercenary troop too.
Yeah.
Because now that Greel is dead, Ike has to take over. Shinon does not like that.
No.
Shinon and Gatry leave your team
That's right.
because Ike takes over.
That's
He's
right.
not good enough. We don't want to be led by this little kid.
So they peace.
They leave.
2 good units too.
Yeah, 2 very good units just leave you.
Yeah.
You get a base conversation with Titania crying in the woods.
That's true.
I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, they really like pounded this character scene home, which doesn't happen that often in this
No,
franchise.
no.
Or it's done shittily.
Right. I'm going to lean more towards done shittily. If that's
Yeah,
a
they
word.
did a good job.
Yeah, it's not like you feel bad for Greel for
Yeah.
dying. You feel bad for everybody around
Everyone
him.
else.
And they did a really good job with that.
Yeah. You know what? I shouldn't say that though. In a game that was not released here.
Yeah.
Remember that big wow moment in one of the early games when like everyone is dead.
You're right.
Everyone gets killed
Yes,
and
you're
plays
right.
their kids.
You're right. You're
They
right.
did do that better It shouldn't say better. They did it well
on a grander
20
scale.
years beforehand.
That's true. That's
it comes
very
around, a good
true.
story moment in Fire Emblem comes around once every 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gets to Ike as a character and how you
Yeah.
really feel like a commander
Yeah.
when you're playing as Ike.
Yeah.
So throughout the game, you don't really get money in the conventional way that you do it in other Fire Emblem games.
Yeah.
You get money as war spoils.
Yes.
You complete a map. Oh, hey, we won. The enemy fled and they left their gold here. Here's the gold. This gold's got to last you for a while.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting way they went about it.
Yeah. Where it's not just like, in the other Fire Emblem games where, hey, I have thief. Thief stole item that I sell. I have money.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Speaking of thieves, that's a great point. You have to pay Volk for him to take stuff.
That's so
You
funny.
hire him. You have to pay
I
him.
forgot about that.
Yeah, you have to
You
pay
hire
him.
a thief.
Yeah, we can get into Volk for a minute here. He's a very interesting
Yeah.
character. I've actually not tried this. You can say no
To him
recruit.
joining?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not sure what it does. I've always meant to try it and I never
Just
have.
say no.
Yeah, you could be like, nah, I'm good. I'm pretty sure there would be some story aspect that says, no, you need to have him
You
on
need
your
to have a
team,
thief on your team.
or he'll come back for the story segments because
Yeah.
Volk is a very
He
important
can't promote either, right?
Yes,
Ooh.
he does.
Nick's raising his eyebrows.
Yes, he does.
He does?
Volk promotes when he tells Ike the truth.
Oh, that's
about
right.
everything.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
No,
it's
there's- that's a cool story promotion that you don't
Yeah.
really get in other parts of the franchise.
Yeah, that's something we haven't talked about is the Lords and their promotions are always done really terribly
Yeah.
because they're always super late into
Yeah,
the game.
too late.
Yeah, but in this game, I think it's actually done fairly well.
And it's fairly early. Like,
Yeah.
you really should level him up quickly because
Yep.
you become the upgraded form early.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect I think is really well done about the storied gameplay integration here. Ike is not royalty.
Yeah.
Every other character, basically every other main character in the series is royalty.
You're a lord.
A lord, a prince, a princess, something like that. Ike's just a mercenary.
Just a guy.
He's just a mercenary, average Joe. When he promotes into a lord, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, he promotes into a lord.
Yeah.
When he gets command of the army, everything changes.
Yeah.
Not only does he promote, the next chapter, the music changes.
Yep.
The in-battle music changes.
That's right.
When enemies attack you, everything about that changes. It just
Yeah, yeah,
feels
yeah.
like it's a huge story moment.
Yeah, and so it was all done on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you promoted, you're the leader of this army, you have the sort of the emotional factor and everything around you is now different.
Yeah,
So they did a
exactly.
good job with this too.
Exactly. Because I think the cast in this game, the Grill Mercenaries and their crew, they're some of my favorites in this entire franchise. So you have some characters who you don't really get in the other games. Like you
Yeah.
have Shinon, who's an asshole and a racist.
Oh, great.
You don't really. Every other character in these games is usually pretty nice.
Generic nice guy.
Generic nice dudes, usually.
Yeah.
But then you have people like Shinon who are just like cat people. No, they should be slaves.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
yeah, exactly.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So that brings up another good point too, where this game gets into a lot of themes that the other games don't really get into.
Yeah.
Like the themes of the racism. And if we think about it, the Lagoos they're the ones who are being prejudiced against, really.
Yeah.
They're sold as slaves.
Yeah.
They're basically looked down on as subhumans.
They had lesser people.
Yeah, as lesser people.
Yeah.
And that also serves as some character turning points.
Yeah.
For some of them too, like Jill.
Yeah.
Not Resident Evil Jill.
Different Jill.
Different Jill. Yeah. different Jill.
Yeah.
But Jill is there's another one. She's also racist as fuck.
Interesting how
comes
that's
in.
a theme of this game.
Yeah, she's super racist. She tells you stories about, I used to go on subhuman hunts. I used to kill them for sports.
Yeah. Wow.
But now, thanks to Ike, I like them.
Oh my
that's
god!
Stuff like that.
Jesus
of course,
Christ!
there's always that cheesy stuff.
I mean, about this game, if I can actually put one negative about this
Yeah.
game, that I actually, it's inherently with the gameplay. The game doesn't run especially well.
No,
By
it
that I
doesn't.
mean loading times are slow.
yeah.
Battle animations are slow, and that's what's tough is that this is a really good game.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a chore to play because it's very similar to almost like the Gen 4 Pokemon complaint I
Yeah.
have. It runs too slowly just by a couple of seconds where it annoys you. Like when you go up to attack an enemy, there's a tiny loading screen. And when battle animations take a little bit too long to the point where they grind on your nerves. So if you had to restart a chapter, it's a little bit more arduous.
That's one of the things I was going to bring up. That's just a pretty negative aspect of this game. It's that it's slow.
Yeah.
It doesn't really hold up, and even turning the combat animations totally off doesn't really help.
It doesn't really help.
which is really unfortunate because I love replaying this game, but like, man,
It's kind of a chore.
It's kind of a chore sometimes.
Yeah,
how
which is
good it
unfortunate.
This game and Radiant Dawn the sequel, were actually planned to be one game. Do you know that?
No,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, which is, man, if you think about the development cycles of these games, they were ambitious as hell.
Yeah.
Because this game came out in 2005. Sacred Stones also came out in 2005.
That's true.
Yeah. So this game came out the same year, and they were planning on making this game as huge as what eventually became two of the bigger games in the franchise.
They're trying to sell the GameCube.
Yeah, they're trying to sell the GameCube.
Yeah.
That's true. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, very interesting. It also led its way to some interesting cut content from this game.
Okay, go ahead.
Where they left out some things they usually keep in. There is no final chapter music. It doesn't change.
Really?
Yeah. There's a map theme that plays at the end of the game, like the last few chapters. There is no special there's no special map music for the last chapter of the game.
Why?
I don't really know.
Maybe they
Time constraints.
couldn't come up with one.
Yeah, it's a very interesting developmental life cycle for this game because I got to give them credit. They made one of the best games in the franchise, and it looks like it was rushed.
Yeah.
Toward the end, I got to give them some credit for that.
Yeah, because you said Radiant Dawn was supposed to be in this game.
Yeah, so that's why there's not a lot of legendary weapons. If you think about it, there's not a lot of S rank weapons in this game.
No.
There's 3 or 4 of them maybe,
Yep.
and a lot of them are held by the enemy, and you can't get them.
That's true.
Which are really interesting aspect. Like the only S level spell is Rex Bolt.
Yes.
It's the only one. So if you train Soren to use wind, sorry man,
You don't get anything.
You aren't using Rex Bolt.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one aspect. It's actually a negative. I hate bringing up negatives this game because I really
Yeah.
like it, but I think the weapon level system in this game really sucks.
Yeah, okay.
It
In
takes
what
a
way?
long time to master weapons in this game.
Yeah.
Like you already have to get stuff to A to S. But in this game, if you want to bring up a secondary weapon, it takes
forever.
damn long.
Yeah.
Remember
And,
the Game
bonus
Boy?
experience doesn't have any impact on weapon levels.
So that's actually an interesting point you bring up. If you use a ton of bonus experience on a character,
You don't have the proper weapon levels.
yeah, they're not fighting in combat. They're not getting the weapon
So you
levels.
can't really derp it with bonus EXP.
No, not
which is
really.
That's a positive.
Not really. So another aspect I want to bring up about this game.
Yeah.
I think this is the game. This is a turning point in the franchise.
Yeah.
This game made enemies stronger.
Yeah.
In the Game Boy ones, you fight more weaker enemies.
Oh, that's right. They kind of throw a ton of poor units at you. In this game, there's fewer but better.
Yeah, like in the Game Boy games, like death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
In this game, if something come up and hit a 20 on you late game, you're like, oh shit, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So and from this game forward, that's kind of a turning point, where the enemies get stronger. And you know what? I think it does well for that thematically. Because if we think back to the Game Boy games, all right, final chapter, here we go. Why is the first enemy I'm fighting an unpromoted archer?
I have no idea.
This is so stupid.
This is so stupid.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Why did they do that?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, they ran out of promotion items. That's probably why.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, but in this game, it's like, okay, final chapter, here we go. Bunch of promoted units, bunch of sword masters, bunch of warriors. They have skills. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, the enemy design is inherently different going
Yeah.
forward in the franchise.
Yeah.
Because but I can't remember now. Going back to 2005,
Yep.
if I thought this game was hard.
No.
Not really.
This game's not that hard. It's funny that I think this is one of the best games of the franchise. Actually, one of the easiest.
Yeah, I mean, it could go back to the skill system and Ike is too good. It could go back. You know what? Maybe it's one of those turning points where you start to see once your characters are so good, the triangle stops mattering. Like Ike is just ridiculous, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I guess that's a knock on this game, too. Yeah, where it just gets... It's kind of easy. I'm trying to think if this game's easier than Sacred Stones. I'm not really sure.
They're kind of the same.
They're both pretty easy in that regard. At least Path of Radiance is a better game.
Yeah, it is.
So I want to talk about actually one of my least favorite aspects of this game.
Yeah.
Biorhythm. Remember Biorhythm?
I don't remember what it does. I remember it's in the... Oh, wait a minute.
Yep.
Depending on how your character feels or something, aren't they worse?
Changes per turn. It is one of the worst features.
What? I don't even know what affects it or what it does.
God, I'm sure there's a calculation.
Are you better off ignoring it? And
That's usually what I do. It's like, whatever, man, this is stupid.
what does it do?
It affects your hit rates, affects, stuff like that. So it's another layer of randomness in the RNG, which kind of sucks. And we're not getting its Radiant Dawn quite yet, but it came back in Radiant Dawn. Why?
But does anything affect biorhythm, or it's random?
It's random.
That sucks.
And of course, there's skills that play off of biorhythm
Oh
that
my
you remove
God.
immediately.
Yeah, you remove them immediately. I forgot it was in the game until you brought that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any final thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so we didn't do it for Sacred Stones. I want to do it for this one. Some favorite characters and favorite maps in this game. So I'm going to start this off. I love Ike.
Yeah.
As a character. I think he's one of the best lords in the series from a character standpoint. Obviously, from a strength standpoint too, he's super strong.
Were there other Lord characters in this game? No,
just
right?
Ike.
I don't think so. Yeah, it was
You know,
just
that's
him.
an interesting point. I didn't think about that. This is the first game we got in the US where there is one central main character.
That's true.
Yeah.
And because I remember, kind of what's different about this game versus the other ones. In the other games, you had a lot of forced units.
Yeah.
Where, you have your 3 lords are forced almost the whole time in 7, and 8, you have the brother and sister.
Yep.
In this game, there's only the one.
It's just Ike.
Yeah.
Just
Is
Ike.
Soren forced?
No, Soren's not forced.
He's not forced.
But he's definitely a major player, though. I love Soren. We'll get into him more in Radiant Dawn
Yeah.
because he plays a huge part in that game, but I really love this dude.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up Ashnard.
Yes.
Remember Ashnard?
Go
the
ahead.
villain of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is kind of a hot take. I think he's the best villain written in this franchise.
Okay, why?
So, when you think of a final boss of Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
what do you think?
When I
think
of
a dragon.
I always think I always go back to it's the dragon or a bunch of bosses I don't care about.
Yeah, this is basically what's a final boss in Fire Emblem? Either a dragon, a god, a demon, some demon dragon god.
You one-hit
something-
Nurgle.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But Ashnard's just a dude.
That's true.
He's just a super strong guy who really wanted to get his hands on that medallion.
Right.
That's all he wanted to do.
Right.
And he also does something very interesting where he's the only villain in this franchise. You don't meet him until the final chapter.
Really?
Until you fight him. That's Ike's first meeting
I don't
with
remember
Ashnard.
that.
You never see him because when you get to the final chapter, Ike's just like, that's King Ashnard?
It's just this guy.
It's that guy?
Yeah. That's really
Yeah,
funny. That's
usually-
kind of a comic moment.
Yeah, it's a comic moment. And it's also there's a lot of video games like you see the villain 3 times and then you finally kill him.
Yeah.
Nope, this is the first time you see this guy. Ike has no idea who he is.
That's so. You know what? That had to have been a product of they thought Radiant Dawn was going to be in the
Probably,
game. It
yeah.
had to have been. Maybe it just kind of worked out where he shows up once.
Yeah.
But it's now that I didn't even know that Radiant Dawn was supposed to be in this game. But now that you say that, it's
Yeah.
got to be a product of that.
Probably.
Right? Where he probably didn't show up throughout the rest of the game because they expected there to be another half of the game.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Maybe?
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I want to bring up one more negative as
Yeah.
my as a closing thought here. I don't want to end on a negative note. I'll bring something positive after
Yeah.
that. But my one last negative is they did. I'm not going to say what it is. They really didn't do a great job with the big boy coming of age story battle toward the end of the game.
What do you mean?
I don't want to say because it's super spoilery.
Yeah.
What you have to do when Ike finally has his moments.
Yeah.
It's a super RNG forced battle.
I remember this when
Yes.
you actually. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember this where like if your skills don't trigger, like it's.
You just can't beat it. If Ike's not max level, you're gonna have a really hard
Yeah,
time
yeah,
beating
yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And it really sucks because if you actually do it, you get a great story segment afterward, but there's really no point in even doing it. You
Yeah.
don't get a whole lot of gameplay reward for it.
I remember like sitting in when we were kids, you doing this and you being so frustrated
Yeah.
with this RNG about
Yeah.
you're trying to trigger the story moment with skills and it's so annoying.
It just doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Which is really unfortunate because it's one of the better moments in this game if you actually make it happen.
Yeah,
Which
I know.
really sucks.
I agree. Which
Yeah.
so a story moment is kind of hidden behind RNG.
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
But with this game, with I almost called it Sacred Stone.
Yeah.
With Path of Radiance, the two things that I have my final thoughts on this game.
Yeah.
The two things that stick out to me for both a positive and a negative. The positive is I really like the soundtrack in this game.
Yes.
The dun 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 dun. It's dun 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 dun.
Yes.
Bum 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 bum. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
The negative I always remembered about this game is it being too slow.
I know. That's unfortunately going to plague this game probably throughout the history of Fire Emblem.
Throughout it existing,
When
is
they
that
think
it's
about
too
this
slow.
game, they're going to say, "Oh my God, best game in the franchise." Don't play it though; it's really slow.
A game that needs I wanted to say it needs a remake, but I don't think they should. Maybe.
Give me a Radiant collection for Switch, you bastards!
Yeah.
I want that.
They won't do it.
They won't do it, but I
'Cause
want
it's not
it.
anime enough.
No, it's true. Oh
Yeah.
God, I can't even imagine what they would do to this game.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have anything else, we can move right into Radiant Dawn.
No, I mean, the last thing I want to say is if you played this franchise, have not played this game, oh God, you have to play this game.
Yeah, if you have $400 million to find a copy of this game,
Ha, that's true.
because it's too expensive.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If
emulate
you
it or
have
something.
$90 USD to play this,
I know.
you can play it.
If you have a chance to play this game, I really highly recommend you do. It's a fantastic game, even for the story alone.
Yeah, it's good. But I guess we'll move right along to Radiant Dawn.
Yes.
So
let's
what
move
I
into
find
Radiant Dawn.
very interesting about this game is you and I talk about this a lot off mic. People didn't like this game, but I love this game.
This game is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like what always surprised me about this game was number one, the Wii was a problematic console.
Yeah.
Where I hated the control gimmick. There were no good games on the console, and this game was on it.
Yeah.
It was one of these it was a very good game on a console that people are kind of down on there being good software for. So I didn't play it for a while until after it came.
We didn't play this game for a long time. We didn't have a Wii.
No, we didn't. So I remember one of the most surprising things about Radiant Dawn going on Metacritic and seeing critics like shit on this game. Like it's in the 70s.
Yeah.
I like this game.
I think this is one of the top games in the franchise.
I do too.
Yeah.
Like, I really think every game in this franchise is good and every game is rated pretty highly except this one.
Which is very strange.
I think this game is better than Sacred Stones.
Oh, me too. You know what it is? Fans really like this game.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned, that people really love Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn.
Yeah.
They're highly regarded in the franchise, and I tend to agree.
Yeah, but this irks me. Like I always... Damn it. Urk is not in this game.
No, sorry.
What always bothers me about this game is, you remember, this is so bad, but like there's that one, I rarely do this. There's this critic on GameSpot who reviewed it.
Yeah.
They give it like a 6.
Yeah.
We shit on him every year.
We do.
Like,
Yeah. It's a
we go in
tradition.
the comment section. We go in the comment section on GameSpot and we dump on him.
It's like, hey, remember this?
Oh my God. But what I loved a lot of things about this game.
Me too.
Number one, it felt like it was a very meaty game. There was I can't believe that Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn were going to be in one game.
I know.
Because this game is really long.
Huge. Until Three Houses came out, this is probably the biggest, most ambitious game in the series.
What I actually remember really loving about this game was you get the different armies and the different groups that branch, which I thought was awesome, because it's not like the Sacred Stones thing where you have Erica and Ephraim that have their own story, and it's because they have their own story, it injects you with replayability.
Right.
What I love about this game is you actually like choose units and you control I forget, is it 2 armies or 3?
So it's technically 3.
Technically 3. What I really like is like you have like different units in all 3 armies, and you go back and forth between the groups, and they have like their own gameplay segments.
Yeah.
And they're all awesome.
Right.
I really, really like that.
Yeah.
What I thought was cool about that is you can tell me if I'm wrong. I believe at one point in the game you have to choose who goes with who.
You do.
Yes.
It's very...
And you have to and you really have to put some thought into how am I going to balance these armies out. You've never got to do that in any of the other games.
No.
They really make you they make you make those choices, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Story-wise, it's great.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get into this because this is a great way to segue into this. Radiant Dawn probably has some of the worst character balancing in the entire series.
It really does.
Which is really unfortunate. There's a ton of characters in this game. So it being a sequel, all of the characters from Path of Radiance, except for one, came back in this game. So basically all of them are playable again. And they also introduced a bunch of new ones in the Dawn Brigade, the first 10 or so chapters of the game. Oh man, they are not... Some of these characters are not good. Some of them are just like, and also comparatively to other characters you get, it's like, why would you ever use
I remember
this guy?
I haven't played this game in probably 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
But one thing I do remember very well from this game was, why do I have so many units in my unit list and none of them are viable?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit units in this game.
There's especially, I'm going to go with the Dawn Brigade in particular. I feel like they got the shaft here. They're the only new characters introduced. Ton of screen time to develop, which kind of sucks. And you can really only use a couple of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just all going to be bad. You're never going to use any of them.
Yeah, they're not as good as other units you're going to get.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate.
On like a math basis, or like that's true. I mean, but then again, even with that in the game, I don't understand why people didn't like it. Like, do you know what was I hated this.
What?
Not even about the game.
Yeah.
It was about the reaction to the game. Critics said it was too hard.
They did.
It's not too hard. Ugh. Like, dude, hold on. Fuck you. Like, are you kidding me? This is the franchise that it's all about making, tough tactical choices.
Yeah.
What are you encouraging?
Yeah, you know what? We'll go back on what we said a little while ago when we said this series has progressively gotten a little easier. This is the
one
where
didn't.
no, this game was not, even for, we were veterans of the series at this point. This game's hard.
Yeah, this
which
game's
is
hard.
good. It's a good hard, not like unfair. And by the way, you can battle save. You can just make a save whenever you want.
This game isn't hard. You can battle save.
You can save scum it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really understand where the complaints about difficulty come from.
We're coming after you to shit on your review again this year. What are you talking about? Like, you can scum the game.
Yeah, I guess the only way you can kind of screw yourself if you make a save in a bad spot, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, either way.
I don't agree with that at all.
I don't agree with it at all. The game is challenging, which is great, but I don't know why that's a negative.
I do not agree.
So I want to get into more of the character balancing.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man,
this is the game where you start to hit 160s and nothing matters.
Yeah. So this is another one game in the franchise where another turning point happens, where max stats really start to matter.
Yes.
Because all of your characters are going to max their stats, and oh boy, using bonus experience, you can really muck this game.
Yeah.
Do you remember the strategy for doing this?
In what way?
All right. So they introduced something really good about this game.
Yeah.
Where when you level up, you are not allowed to get 0 stats anymore. That doesn't happen.
Oh, good.
In prior games in the franchise, you can level up and get nothing, which
sucks. Yeah.
In this game, you're guaranteed 1 stat,
yeah,
which is really nice. If you're using bonus experience, it gives you 3 stat level ups, and it's always your 3 highest stats.
Oh,
which is interesting.
Cool.
So, because this game is really focused on max stats, if you use these units in standard combat and level them up, chances are they're going to max out their highest growth stats. Yeah. So what can you then do with bonus experience?
Make them even higher?
Max out the other stats.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah. So your team, if you know how to play this game and you kind of figure out how bonus experience works, you can just make a team of basically unkillable juggernauts.
Yeah.
Basically midway into part 3, and you're like, all right, I'm good.
Wait a minute. I could be wrong here. Is this the game where you can promote more than once?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
I love this aspect of this game.
Yeah. I remember this. Like, you had, I forget what the name of the unit was, though. You could go from like knight to general to crazy awesome general or wall. What was it? Do you remember what the name is?
Oh, geez. It's not Sentinel. That's a different one. It'll come to me at some point.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. There are 3rd tier promotions, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny about it? They really advertised heavily 3rd tier promotions in this game. It's like, you can promote 3 times. This game is huge. Only like 10 or so units get 3rd tier promotions, which is pretty funny.
Really?
Because
not everyone does it?
Well, if you think about it, so the returning characters in Path of Radiance are all in their 2nd tier already.
Yeah.
So they technically only promote once.
That's true. They're already in the 2nd tier.
It's really the Dawn Brigade characters who get more than 1 promotion, which I thought was a really cool aspect. You don't get into multiple promotions until way down the line in 3 houses.
That's
it's really
true.
the next time it happens.
Is that the next time they bring it back?
Yeah, it's not even
besides
really.
The baby units, I guess.
Yeah, training units
doesn't
don't really count. Nah,
yeah.
Doesn't really count. But this game, yeah. Okay, so let's get into 3rd tier units here. They are sick. They're cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, are they overpowered?
Yeah.
We're gonna bring skills back into this.
Oh my God.
Hey, did you know the skill stun actually stuns people? I didn't. They're usually dead.
Yeah, exactly. They're usually dead.
If a skill unleashes, all these skills have a effect, really.
Yeah.
So the skill stun, it's a flying unit only.
Yes.
So they get the skill. It does 3 times damage and stuns people. Who the hell is going to survive a 30
Who's going to survive a 3 times damage from my maxed out character and then get stunned? No one.
No one's going to survive that.
Yeah.
So in Path of Radiance, they had the same skills. They weren't as strong.
Yeah.
In this game, holy shit, they went a little overboard with them. And in this one too, this is the first game in the series where you could interchange skills.
Oh,
you could take skills
skill
off
bank and you don't lose it.
Yeah, you don't lose it. I like not losing skills, but oh man, you can make some supremely overpowered characters in this game.
For sure.
Yeah. So
I remember some of my stats being through the roof in this game.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's kind of unfortunate because you kind of need them sometimes.
Yeah.
Later on to the game, you'll notice that even some units who have maxed out speed can't double.
Oh, that's right.
Because a lot of the enemies are close to max stats too.
Right.
Yeah, it made some units kind of pointless.
Do you think this is one of these games where the numbers are too high?
The numbers get a little crazy. Like all the magic units, their speed's too low. They can't do much.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about magic units for a second because it's really funny, but it's really stupid how they made staffs equipable items. Do you remember this?
No.
Well, if you use a staff, you equipped it and not a weapon. So if you got attacked, you would bop someone with a staff.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's really
I remember
funny.
that.
I remember playing this game on easy difficulty once and just using a bunch of mages just with staffs. It is hilarious going through a map just whacking people with staffs.
Bopping people with staffs. Bop.
You can't actually attack with them, but you can counterattack with them.
Cool.
And I remember the legendary staff gives you 100% crit, which is really funny.
What?
It's so stupid, but it's really funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is probably one of the first games in the franchise where things are kind of stupid, but they're funny.
Yeah. I mean, did you have any significant characters or plot devices before Final Thoughts?
Oh man, I actually really love some of the plot devices in this game. where these characters, a lot of them are built upon from the previous game, so you get a lot of more characterizations from people like Ike, people like Soren, things like that. Do you know about the secret Soren conversation?
No.
All right, so I'm not going to reiterate the steps you have to do. It's like insane. So in this game, you can transfer data from Path of Radiance.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
and get
cool.
some bonuses to people's stats.
Yeah. Oh, like they need them.
Like they needed bonuses.
Yeah.
Right?
More numbers.
Right. So if you transfer data from Path of Radiance and Ike and Soren have an A support in that game, it brings it over to this game. And if they get an A support in this game, they have a special conversation right before the final battle.
That's cool.
Where you learn everything about Soren's backstory.
Oh, wow.
Like why him and Ike are best buds, how Ike saved him when he was a kid. And you get a nice little bro hug moment.
Really?
Which is great. Which also led to a lot of Ike is gay fan theories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very,
Interesting.
very interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, him and Soren have a moment there, which I think is really nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think this game, I'm not going to mention too many specific story moments, but when this game hits with story, it hits really well.
Yeah.
But when this game flops a story, it flops really
Into
well.
anime bullshit territory of
Yeah.
every other game in the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Like, one specific moment. Oh, jeez. Like, at the beginning of this game, your main character is Micaiah.
Yes.
We kind of forget that
Yes.
Micaiah is the main character of this game.
Yeah.
Right? That's my
They
point.
do kind of a Metal Gear Solid 2 thing.
Right. Micaiah is the main character of this game. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Micaiah is the main character, and to a lesser extent, Soth is the main character of this
Forgot
game.
about that too.
Yeah. So after the first part, which is starring them, and you kind of forget about them for a while, then part 2 happens. You're Alincia, you're the Royal Knights. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there were a lot of sections. I just kind of like did the gym
Yeah.
face. 'cause
Yeah.
I forgot about this. Like
Yeah.
you know what's cool about this game?
Yeah.
It's so big and
Yep.
so loaded with content. There were some sections I forgot about.
Yeah.
It's that. Yeah.
I counted before. There are 45 chapters in this game,
Oh
which
my
is
God.
incredible amount of chapters for this franchise.
Yeah.
It never goes
Most
that
I've
high.
seen is, 32?
Yeah,
33?
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to that point. So you get to part 2, it's Alincia. Part 3 happens. Oh, by the way, at the end of part 2, this is Ike's game now. Deal with it.
Metal Gear Solid 2 moment.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a great GIF of this where
Yeah.
it's an Old Spice commercial dubbed over, where it's like in a laundry room and Micaiah is in the laundry room, and it shows Ike just speed through the wall on like some motor ski. It's like boom, here he is. It's Ike's game. Sorry guys.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
you.
I know. Dude, that's so funny. I'm glad because you and I were kind of glowing about this game and I completely forgot how it started.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's
you
really
kind of
good.
forget because there's a ton of characters, a ton of stories, 72 playable characters.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Then
Yeah.
again, you use a lot though because there are
You do.
different groups.
Yeah, you're
That's
forced to
pretty-
use some
pretty cool.
characters. You can maximize it if you want, but that's a really cool aspect. You're
You know
like,
what's interesting about this game?
Yeah.
I think the most interesting aspect of it is you and I just like kind of smiled talking about it. We're
Yeah.
like, it's fun. Like,
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not, Nick and I are not contrarians, like saying that nobody liked this game. That's why we did.
Yep.
It's fun. Like,
yeah.
I really liked, the 3 armies. It's a long game.
Yeah.
All the different characters. Yeah, some of them are useless.
Yeah, totally.
But it's just, I'm not sure if I'd call it replayable because of how long it is, but all the different characters are super cool. Nick's raising his eyebrows at
Au
me.
contraire, there is New Game Plus in this game.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Beat the game once, different stuff happens.
Oh, no. You don't get higher stats, do you?
Oh God, no. But no, you beat the game once. Pelias is recruitable. The
Yes.
second time around, you can actually save him.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. That's really funny.
Yeah. So my closing thought about this game
Yeah.
is I want to talk about the best story moment from this game and what I think is the best chapter in this franchise.
Yeah, please.
Okay. So part 3, final chapter. It's also a badass name. It's called From Pain Awakening.
Okay.
All right. So in this game, basically you're like, all right, we got Leron's medallion. If we go to war too much, the Dark God's going to pop out of the medallion. Holy shit, we're at war too much. This thing is going to happen.
Holy shit.
So basically what this chapter is, you're Ike's army in this game, and you're fighting against the characters that you created in the Dawn Brigade,
Yes.
in the Dayan army.
Yes.
You have the Laguz armies fighting at your side. You're on a big snowy battlefield while that awesome song "Eternal Bond" plays in the background.
Yes.
And there is a kill count in this
What?
chapter. Remember this?
No.
Whenever you kill someone, heartbeat goes 1, 2,
I did not know
3.
that.
Yes, there is a kill count in this chapter, and it gets progressively more pronounced. So you're like, what am I doing? This sounds bad. And as you're doing this, in a little house is where the medallion is. It's being kept by one of the Herons, who they say their power can kind of quell it
Yeah.
for a little bit. As you progress through this chapter and kill more people, the Laguz start saying, hey man, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Hey, and the kill counts just beep,
Yeah.
Heartbeat going off. And every certain amount of kills, characters will say different things.
Yeah.
It's talking about the energy is different, what's going on here.
Yeah.
And then finally, you get to a part where you kill a certain amount of enemies, and then you zoom into the house where the Heron is, and she is flat on her back on the ground, passed out,
Yeah.
and the medallion is just glowing, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, right. Well, I was going to ask, like, because in that chapter, remind me, what is the chapter objective?
Route, but you can't do it.
Oh, got it.
There's
Okay.
unlimited reinforcements. It is a route, but once you get to a certain kill count,
It's
the chapter
story
ends.
moment. Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought I remembered.
Yep.
Which is super neat because
Yep.
it's one of those gaming moments where you're not sure. Can I not do this? Is
Right.
something going to happen? And then it would be interesting if like you could do it without that happening.
Yeah.
But I know it's interesting.
Yep.
For sure.
And in that chapter 2, I should say, we were talking a lot about how there's a lot of conversations between characters and they fight each other. This chapter is a gold mine for that.
Yeah.
Because you have allies fighting each other from both sides.
How far into the game is that?
Very far.
It's very
It's
far.
very far into the game.
Yeah.
It's not quite the finale, but it's a pretty important moment in the game, and it's one of my favorites in the entire series.
No, it's super neat.
It's a great
Also, it
moment.
kind of reiterates the varied mission objectives. Different
Yes.
stuff happens.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And by the way, if one of your characters dies, it counts toward the kill count.
That's awesome.
Very cool. It's a very
That's
cool
very good.
aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, my final thought on this game,
Mm-hmm.
I said it kind of throughout our gleeful conversation about this. I really liked the amount of characters.
Yep.
I really liked how it built on Radiant Dawn because I'm sorry, Radiant Dawn, Path of Radiance,
Right.
Because it was supposed to be the same game.
Yeah.
I like the separate armies because it really made me feel like, okay, I got to choose carefully here
Yeah.
because the way I build these armies, I'm gonna have to muscle my way through the rest of the game, which I really liked, and no other game made you do that.
No, it's a great aspect of the game.
And I thought it was really fun. I actually thought it played. Maybe you and I differ on this. I actually thought it plays a little bit better than Path of Radiance.
I agree.
It
I
plays
totally
a little
agree
bit
with that.
better.
Yes.
By that I mean it purely runs a little better. It's weird to say the Wii runs things well because it
know,
runs
right?
everything poorly.
It's faster.
Yeah.
The battle animations are a little bit better. Oh my God, wait a minute.
Yes.
We can't end this without talking about the voice acting.
Oh, no.
And how bad it is.
It's really bad.
Oh my God, this is like Resident Evil 1 original levels of bad voice
It's really
acting.
bad.
GOLDOA will not move.
No. I should put that as like the subtitle of this
God.
episode.
Ugh, and Ike scream. Oh my God.
Don't even do it.
I'm not going to do it. 8-year-old Ike sounds like a 40-year-old man. Oh God, it's bad.
It's really
the
bad.
soundtrack in this game is incredible, but all the voice acting is
Maybe this is where voice acting took a turn in this franchise. Well, I shouldn't even say took a turn. I feel like it was only good once.
Oh God, the voice acting's better now, but oh my God, in this game,
It's not that good now either.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's comparatively better.
Comparatively
better. But oh my God, the voice acting in this game is terrible.
That's true.
Music's really good though.
Yeah.
Soundtrack is excellent.
Yeah, big ups to the duo.
Yeah, big ups to that duo.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all I've got for Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think we'll move into chapter 3 in just a moment.